Hey guys, it's Core Ross, and today we're unboxing a mechanical keyboard that uses lasers instead of your traditional switches. And we're also unboxing a super lightweight gaming mouse as well. So we'll start with NZXT's Lift 2 SYMM, so maybe Symm, but I'm really not sure how you would go about pronouncing that. And we'll start by unboxing a matching mousepad, so this is the MXL 900. And of course, as you can see here, I've chosen white for both the mouse and mousepad here. And not the usual colours I would normally pick because I assume I'm going to get these dirty pretty damn fast. But I really wanted to see what a entirely white mouse actually looks like in person. And as you can see, the mouse mat here is looking very good. Very subtle NZXT logo on the bottom right. This thing is made to just blend in and look very nice, very clean, and great mousepad. Now, I'm wondering if you're going for a full white build, which people do, so they have a white mouse, they have a white computer, white keyboard, do you also get a white mousepad, or do you go black mousepad? Anyway, let's open up this mouse so we can move on to the keyboard afterwards, because I want to show off the lasers. So straight off the bat, this box is nice and easy to get into. I did have a knife on standby, but you don't need it. You got nice little tabs to take off the plastic seals, and then you're in. However, this mouse is so light that it uses gravity to get out, but it needs a good shake before it eventually disconnects from the box and comes out. But there she is. NZXT logo on the top, but relatively subtle. You've got a nice grippy scroll wheel. You've got a mode changing button, and you've got two separate switches on the left hand side as well. And then you can see as I switch it over, this thing is completely hollow and actually entirely open on the underside. And this is it. There's no additional weights or anything like that in the box. It is just a very, very lightweight mouse. So let me give you some stats. So it's got 26,000 DPI sensor, 8,000 Hertz, and it's also got NVIDIA reflex support for when you want to measure input lag. So this actually works with G-Sync displays. And I've done this before. You actually plug the mouse into the monitor, and then you can use it to measure your hardware's response time. Now, this was a surprise when I turned this over and seen the bottom. Like, this thing has a white PCB and everything. This is the bottom of your mouse. Not something you're going to see much, and they put the time and the effort in and the money in to get a white PCB for the underside of the mouse. Now, if this is important to you, that you want your mouse to completely look white, even inside it, then this is the mouse for you. And of course, I should actually mention, you can also get this mouse in black as well, so it comes with a black PCB, and of course that one's full interior is black as well. So yeah, if you're really dedicated to your theme, whether it's black or whether it's white, this mouse is definitely going to be going hardcore for you. And another thing I should mention is there's no RGB as well, which I like. I love my peripherals having as limited amount of RGB these days as possible. Now, after using this mouse for 2 weeks, I do want to give you my kind of opinion on it. And the thing that really stood out was actually the cable. Because of this mouse being so light, you don't want any real drag at all with the cable. And I was extremely impressed. I don't know what they've done, but that cable is so light compared to other mices I've used, especially light ones, that it felt like it was gliding along almost like a wireless one with no actual cable attached. And here's what the optical switches on the mouse sound like. So that is excellent. I also looked up some reviews of the previous Lift, and it did have some quite annoying flaws to it, and they seem to have fixed that with the second version here. This one seems to be pretty much flawless. I didn't have any issues with any of it. They've also improved their software, so this is much better than it used to be, and it's the NZXT CAM software, and in there you can go and customize pretty much anything you want. And it's pretty intuitive, and the great thing is, of course, that it actually saves to the mouse, so that you don't have to have the software running in order to use all the benefits, which I love because preferably I want to have as little software running as possible on my PC. And then the features in the software are pretty much what you would expect. You can change all the buttons and stuff, and you've also got 5 programmable DPI settings that you can then flick through using the mode button behind the scroll wheel. But yeah, pretty sweet white mouse, and of course it also comes in black. And now let's move on to the keyboard, and this is the one I was super excited to try out. This is the Function 2 MiniTKL. And this one has optical laser switches for the mechanical keyboard, and I am freaking loving this so far. And I chose to check this one out in black. Of course, you can get a white version as well. And just like the mouse, this has really good packaging that you do not need a knife to get into, so it is frustration free. Just rip off the tabs and you are going in. Although I did have to have a little bit of a fight with the cardboard tab here to pull it out and get into the box, but I was finally victorious. And then we can open it up, and the keyboard itself is in a recyclable soft bag, and all our accessories are behind that folded purple cardboard. So let's get it all out of here and I'll show you what's in the box. Of course, you've got the keyboard, you've also got a keycap remover, a switch remover, and you've also got a bunch of different switches that you can put in, along with a USB Type-C cable to Type-A. So this is it. Now, what I didn't realize is I hadn't actually pulled out the switch remover yet. I actually found that later. It was in the folds of the box. But as you can see, we've got everything here. So you've got enough switches here to do either your WASD keys or your arrow keys if you want to try a different switch type. And of course, they'll have different like actuation pressures and all that. But these are not your traditional switches. So normally these bits here that you can see, they go into the keyboard and they are physical switches. They actually have electrical connection points. And of course, that's why they're called switches, because they are switching the power on and off to register the key press. These are not. These are two bits of plastic and a spring, but there's no metal in here. There's no connections. There's nothing that is a switch in here. Instead, the switch mechanic is actually done by cutting a laser beam that the keyboard is projecting for every single key, resulting in, of course, potentially a really good experience for using as an actual keyboard instead of having mechanical switches, but we'll see. But anyway, enough blabbing. Let's take a look at the actual keyboard itself. So it has feet. These can be put into two different settings, either a tall or short. And of course, the keyboard itself looking very, very nice. Simple, of course, all black. You can get the all white version as well if you want to. You've got buttons on the left-hand side. And then the construction of this thing is something that I love because I'm a sucker for metal in my keyboards. So the base plate underneath the keys is 3mm of aluminium. So it is quite a chunky boy, but it is also still light. Because this is a smaller keyboard, I do want to travel with it, and I'm glad that it is a lightweight keyboard. So this will end up fitting my carry-on very, very well. And you can see here we've got buttons on the left hand side and even a volume control, and we'll look at those later, but they're pretty damn cool. But let's get back to the switches, shall we? So pulling off this keycap, you can see what would look like a normal traditional switch, but you can't put a normal traditional switch in this. It's got to be one of these made up for the lasers. And presumably in the future, these laser switches are actually going to be cheaper than others because they're just plastic with a spring. So they're a lot less complicated than an actual switch should normally be. So should, in theory, end up being cheaper. And I also found what was hiding in the box, which was our switch removal tool. So nice purple colors, very NZXT colors. And you can see I'm a total novice when it comes to trying to take this switch up, because of course I don't want to break anything. And I haven't done this much before, but I do have a couple of mechanical keyboards and I've definitely fallen in love with them, but I haven't gone as far as like taking out loads of switches yet. So that is your PCB down there. And you can see it has the big LED at the top. That's the LED for just lighting up the keyboard with fancy colors. But then you have two pieces either side, which is a laser emitter and detector. And that is what controls the actual switch. You know, if that gets cut, just like a Capcom trap in Rainbow Six Siege, as soon as that laser is cut, it then knows that there's an input being made for that key. And every single key has one of these lasers, which I freaking love. So these optical switches are just, I think, extremely cool. Now, I'll also note for clarity here that this is a Function 2, so this is a sequel to, of course, the Function 1. But the Function 1 keyboard uses traditional mechanical switches. So if you end up buying one of these, either new or second hand, make sure you know which series you're buying, either the first one or the second one, because they use entirely different switches. And of course, if you are someone who likes tinkering with their switches, you need to know which one you're actually getting. But let's run through some of the stats. So these Swift optical switches, the NZXT calls them, have a 0.2 millisecond response time and 100 million key press guarantee, and 1mm to 1.5mm adjustable actuation that you can actually change in software. And as you can see here, I've gone and changed out a couple of the switches with the ones that are given, just to have a little mess around, and yeah, works great. Now let's take a look at the software. So this is NZXT Cam, and this is where you can modify everything for the mouse and the keyboard. And yeah, it's a relatively decent software. The best thing for me with any software where you can customize stuff is that you can save it all to the keyboard so that you don't have to have the software itself running. So you can set up as just perfectly how you want it, and then never run the software until you need to. Because I hate having anything else that I don't need running on my system at any one time. You can even rename your keyboard here. So if you want to have multiple keyboards and keep track of which one has maybe production, which one has gaming stuff on it, you can do that too. You can also change how the switches actually work because they're optical. You can do a lot more with them, and that is cool. You can also, of course, customize the heck out of your keyboard with a whole bunch of options for different buttons and pretty much customize everything. However, the left-hand buttons seem to be stuck, so you're not able to change them at all, which is a pity. It'd be kind of cool if you could change the rocker button to like do other stuff and all that. But as you can see here, I've got some of the different effects playing out. So this one's a little bit too showy for me, but it's cool to have all these different options of what you want to do. And I'm a big fan of reactive options. So I was trying out all kinds of things here. And one of my favorites is actually just switch off the LEDs, but when you press it, you get the effect. I think that looks so freaking cool. So yeah, lots and lots of options to do with your software here. Now on the left-hand side, you've got additional buttons. So you've got a spinning button here that goes 360 degrees. You've got a mute button. You've got a Windows key lock. And then you have brightness controls as well. And of course, you've got either completely off or all the way up to full brightness and anything in between. And I would say these are not the best placed buttons because of course, if you're going to pick the keyboard up, you're going to do it from either side. So there's a good chance if this thing's plugged in, you're going to change your volume or accidentally hit the mute button or something like that. So it's not perfect, I think, where the buttons are. As I plan to use this as a travel keyboard, they are kind of in a more annoying position, whereas if we're just sitting on my desk as my main keyboard, this probably wouldn't be an issue at all. Now, before we get onto the conclusion of this video, I'm going to let you just listen to what the switches sound like. Now we can talk conclusions. So I've been using mechanical keyboards now for about 5 years, and of course, absolutely love them. And I've been able to use a few over that time, but only a few. Now, this is my first optical switch keyboard, and I'm loving it. I'm very happy with it. It's going to be my travel keyboard, and I'll probably end up doing a lot of editing with it in hotel rooms. So very happy with it. And the mouse is also going to be excellent because, of course, extremely light compared to other mouses, so I'll probably use it again for traveling, even though of course it's made for lightweight gaming. For me, I prefer heavier mouses for gaming, and of course this mouse comes with no additional weights or anything like that. So if you're after purely a very lightweight gaming mouse, it's excellent. But when it comes to the keyboard, this is right up my street. Very, very happy with it. And I'm going to program it all in just how I like it and then save the profile onto the keyboard. And then yeah, have an absolute blast using this thing while traveling. And I'm still extremely hyped about the whole laser switches. And so far my experience with them is great. But anyway guys, let me know what you think of the Function 2 MiniTKL and the Lift 2 Symm. Who comes up with these product names?